Hello everybody, how's everybody doing? I brought you a book that starts with the letter L today. The title of my book is called Lost. And you can see Bromley's excited to hear this story. The author of this book is David McPhail. And I want you to take a look at the cover. You can see on the cover is a bear and a boy, and it looks like they're on the busy corner of a street. Now I'm going to show you another picture to help with your prediction. This is another picture that might give you a clue of what this story is about. Now remember, the title was Lost. So, what do you think this book is going to be about? Have you ever been lost? And what did it feel like to be lost? We're going to explore that concept in this story. So let's read and find out what happens to the bear. Lay down, Bromley. Lost. I'm walking down the street when I hear someone crying. It's a bear. He looks lost and afraid. The tall buildings scare him, and he's never seen so many people. Don't worry, I tell him. The buildings won't hurt you, and most of the people are friendly. How did you get here? I ask. I climbed in to have a nap, he explains, and when I woke up, I was lost. I'll help you. Tell me where you live. There are trees where I live, he tells me. So we find some trees. More trees, he says, and water. I take him to a place where there are more trees and water too. No, he says, this is not it either. I have an idea. Follow me, I say. I take him to a tall building. We go inside and get on an elevator and ride all the way to the top. From up here, we can see the whole city. Look, I say, now find your home. There it is, he says, pointing. Down we go across the streets and into the park. The park is not the bear's home after all, but he likes it there. We go for a boat ride, we have lunch. We go to the playground and we're having a good time. But it's getting late and the bear is still lost. Let's try the library, I tell him. We can find anything there. Inside the library, we look through lots of books. And the bear sees a picture that looks like his home. We find the place on the map and we hurry outside. A bus is leaving. We got on the bus and we ride for a long time. Do you think the bear is going to find his house? Finally, we are there. This is where I live, says Bear. He gives me a hug and thanks me again for my help. Then he waves goodbye and disappears into the forest. Aha! We remember studying habitats and the bear lives in the forest habitat. The trees are so tall and there aren't any people. Wait, I call to the bear, come back. I think I'm lost, I tell him. Don't worry, he says. I will help you. So, did you make a prediction at the beginning that maybe the bear or the boy were going to be lost and maybe they would help each other to find their way home? If you did and you used the picture clues, maybe you were right about your prediction. I hope you can go back and check your prediction to see. Well, this book is titled Lost, and we've been learning about the letter L. And in the beginning, we thought about what does it feel like when we feel a little bit lost? And I wonder how many of my friends at home are feeling a little bit lost right now. Maybe things aren't like they used to be. Maybe your routine is off. Maybe you're not able to see all your friends. Maybe you're not able to go to school like we know that you're not. So with all of these things, maybe you're feeling a bit lost. I want to share a quick story with you. That's just a story, and it's called a parable, and it's kind of the type of story that we tell from the Bible. And it's a lesson story, and this is how the story goes. And it has a lesson about what we're talking about right now. This is called the parable of the long spoon. So you can tell this story to your mom and dad to help them explain and to deal with some of the feelings you're dealing with right now. So in the story, there are two rooms. In the first room, everybody looks very sad and very skinny and very unhappy. And it's a very fancy room with beautiful dinner and lavish food and music playing. And everybody's sitting at tables, but they have these really long spoons. And because their spoons are so long, they can't fit them in their mouth and they can't feed themselves. And they're so hungry and they're so sad. Right next door is another room. And it's a beautiful room and it's a party and there's music and everybody is happy and everybody is talking and eating. They have super, super, super long spoons, but they're using their long spoons to feed each other. So in this room, the people are happy and their bellies are full and they're content because each one is using their long spoon to help and feed one another. So I want you to think about that story and think about how you can find meaning. How can you feed someone? Now, literally, Mrs. Yost doesn't mean feed someone, but I mean, what can you do to reach out to others? Just like those super long spoons. How can we use technology? How can we maybe write letters, draw pictures? How can we help a neighbor? Remember when we did all the Pass the Kindness during Lutheran Schools Week? How can we find meaning by feeding others? So how can we help others? So I want to tell you something. Me making stories and telling stories to all of you brightens my every day. Thinking about you at home, listening to the stories helps me to find meaning when I feel lost during what's happening right now. So I want you to think about how can you help others? How can you find meaning during this time? And I want you to share the stories of the long spoon, the parable of the long spoon with your mom and dad, and talk about how you can help one another in your community. All right, finally, I'm gonna leave you on an upbeat note after that, and I'm gonna teach you how to make the letter L, capital L, with leaves and ladybugs on it. So you can see here, I've got the letter L and I drew leaves, and then guess what I did? I took a marker. This is very, very simple. I took a red marker, one that's washable, and it came right off because look, I did this finger and it's not there. I colored my whole finger. This is really, really fun. If it's okay with your mom and dad, and you can ask them to do this at the table. And then look, on my leaf, I just made an imprint. And there is my fingerprint. And you can see each one of these little red dots is my fingerprint with a little bit of marker on it. And then I just got really creative with my black marker. And I'll show you it 2 times. You make a little head. Remember, we learned that insects have 3 body parts. They have a head, an abdomen, and a thorax. Now, a ladybug has 3 body parts, but they're hidden underneath their wings. So you can see their head, but their abdomen and their thorax are behind their wings, but they have 6 legs. So making them true insects, I have a head, I have an abdomen and a thorax underneath my wings, and I have 6 legs. And here it is again. Draw my head and put my spots on my ladybug, however many spots I like. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I make it look like an insect. And then you can have the letter L. L is for ladybugs on a leaf. So take a picture and show me your ladybugs on a leaf. And remember to tell your story about the parable of the long spoon to your mom and dad. Think about ways you can help others in your community and find meaning. All right, love you. Bye, everybody.